Hi, this is Father Bill. I'm a friend of Dr. Bob's here in Austin, and welcome back. We're up to step 10 in our series of looking at the 12 steps and seeing how it is that they emerged from the Oxford group, if we can see some connections that might help us work those steps in a better way in our lives. And so the Oxford group word, I would say, that really jumps out from step 10 is the word continue. Buchman was asked to describe his program in a simple manner, and he came up with 5 C's: confidence, confession, conviction, conversion, and continuance. We'll do a little series on those soon because they're really important. But I want to focus on the last one of this change process, and that is continuance. Buchman knew that the conversion process is not likely to hold unless one continues working at this change process as a way of life. And the same thing is true when that came into Alcoholics Anonymous and when Wilson wrote his 12 steps. So I want you to listen for that word continuance as we look at some of the reference to step 10 in the big book. It says, continue to take personal inventory. Continue to set right any new mistakes. It says this is not an overnight matter. It should continue for a lifetime. Continue to watch, it says, for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. Sam Shoemaker was the man that Wilson learned most of the spiritual principles from in New York. He was the head of the Oxford group in the United States, an Episcopal priest. And 10 years before the big book was written, this is what Shoemaker wrote in one of his own books. He says, conversion is the beginning, not the ending of an experience of God. That experience continues when we use all the means Jesus Christ put at our disposal for continuation. And the first one he references then is prayer. So one of the pioneers, friend of Bill Wilson's, said something that really struck me when I first read it. He was talking about the linkage between steps 10 and 11. And he said, we watch and pray. He was quoting scripture. Many times in scripture, Jesus says, watch and pray. And what this fellow said was, if we don't watch, we won't know what the hell to pray for. If we don't watch, we won't know what to pray for. And so the absolute linkage between watching and then praying. Watching what? Watching my life on the outside and on the inside. Outside, how are my relationships going? Am I living by the 4 absolutes of honesty, purity, unselfishness, and love? I'm probably falling short. Well, where am I falling short? And then watch inside. How am I feeling? Am I feeling connected or am I feeling isolated? Am I feeling alone? Am I feeling discouraged? We watch ourselves. And then that is what we bring to our prayer. A little bit of a heresy here, perhaps, but I've been a student and a practitioner of the 12 steps now for over 45 years. And here's my confession. The only 3 steps I work today are steps 10, 11, and 12. And I challenge people when I say that. I usually won't say that to a brand newcomer. But what I'm trying to get at in that is this. That if you're really diligently working step 10, if you're watching yourself, if you're praying in the way that we really need to pray, not just mechanical prayers, but reaching out for God, listening to God, as we'll get to in step 11, and then acting on the guidance that I receive from God, man, that's a life of a changed individual. And there every principle that you'll find in 1 through 9, you're going to find them in 10, 11, and 12. And it's easier. It's a lot easier to work 3 steps than it is 12. So Dr. Bob's big deal was keep this thing simple. I'm behind him with that 100%. I see too many people falling by the wayside. They need a really strong spiritual program to make it. And getting through the first 9 steps diligently and then living 10, 11, and 12 opens the door to a whole new life. So I hope this is helpful. Keep coming back. God bless. Bye-bye.